I like it because it could go both ways.
Stupid. Another addition of Heroic Enemy.
Yes.
All right. So what's on the table today?
So we're going to review Avengers 2 in some brief points.
Here it is.
So
empty.
We seem to be divided.
We are divided
upon opinions for Avengers 2. Personally, I thought it was better than the first one.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there.
It's hard.
Not being the biggest Avengers fan.
Oh wait, no. Actually, I like the second one.
I would say
I like the first one better.
Dang.
I would say the first one.
The reason why, actually, they were really close.
Let's compare.
The only reason why I liked Avengers 1 better is because they had that move with Iron Man and Captain America from Ultimate Alliance.
Oh gosh.
There it is.
Okay,
I saw that and I was like, oh, he's put that in
You
there.
just heard the voice. It's like super combo.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Dude, I love that part. That's the only reason why Avengers 1.
Super.
Okay.
Avengers 2.
I like. I would have to say I like the first one better, and I think the reason why was that just on a base exposure of characters, I think everyone got a pretty fair amount of time, excluding Hawkeye, which I don't mind because I don't like Hawkeye. If he had his purple suit though, see, that would have been a different story.
Yes, and the purple mask.
Give that fool more face time. But yeah, I would say
so good.
now.
Like really
The
bright.
plot. Now we'll discuss the plot later, but I think, just my general opinion, I think I like the first one better.
So, what's the reason for that though?
I just said
Because of Hawkeye? Is it just Hawkeye or?
it's no.
It's just because of Hawkeye.
I'm saying no that everyone got equal face time basically. So like I think they did really well because I went into the first one thinking, crap, this is gonna be like a Tony Stark, shine. He was popular at the time, or someone was gonna get more exposure. But I really thought they did a good job at letting everyone play the part. They really set up a team atmosphere really well. But
You mind me?
yeah,
I'd have to give the edge to the first one too because.
Dang.
Because of the super common move?
What?
Because of the super common move?
not the
No,
super.
not because of that.
combo.
Because one, the only Avenger I really like in the movies is Iron Man, and I feel like he did more cooler. He was cooler in the first one, I think, or he had more face time in the first one, or more action or whatever. And second one is I felt like Ultron wasn't as threat.
Oh, okay.
I feel like
I'm glad you brought that up.
I just wish he was a stronger enemy. That's the thing. But I did love the Hulkbuster. That was the best part for me.
Yeah, the first one did have a more dire consequence with everyone. An alien invasion was about to happen. Earth was gonna just die, but I mean, I guess Earth was gonna explode with the rock thing, but it just didn't feel like it. I guess.
What about you, Kev?
So I would say the second one was better than the first one. Not too much though. I mean, I enjoyed both of them.
Yeah.
But comparing just those two, I have to give it to the second one. I mean, the second one still had love from Tony Stark, and it's trying to I feel like the second one showed a little bit more exposition when it comes to the individual Avengers. Like you talked about how you liked how they all showed they have their own role that they can carry out in the first one. But meanwhile, I like the backstory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so when they were highlighting the fear aspect.
Yeah, the fear aspect, it lets you go in depth. Like we have Widow's backstory.
Yeah.
We have Captain America. Basically, he still has that issue of coping with where he lives, being in the modern setting. Then Tony was coping through the entire movie because he basically demonstrated that he's still traumatized after he threw that nuke in the first one.
Yeah.
And he just got sick because this is pretty much jumping to a point where they've already fought for a while as the Avengers, and he got sick of fighting. That's why he wanted to develop this way to just end it all once and for all. So he just wanted to have a clear conscience, so to speak.
Yeah.
And the fear that Scarlet gives him It just simply like amplified that paranoia, which basically made him do what he wanted to do.
Yeah, you know, I think what it was is for some reason it just was a disconnect for me because when we talked about this the first time, I talked about how the whole plot was revolved around was Tony Stark's fear, basically. He creates Ultron because he actually thinks that his fear is viable enough to come true, and he thinks that some type of AI would be better suited at preventing stuff before they happen, you know, ending conflict at all and ending war before it happened. It's kind of I hate to reference it, but it's basically like Akatsuki from Naruto. It's like,
who's that one again?
that's like the main group in like Naruto, the big organization, and like their whole plan to basically like monopolize the wartime like industry. So, but they use it under the guise of peace. That's kind of what it reminded me of. Oh, and then Thor's. There was just some holes as far as inconsistency. So Thor leaves. He leaves the team and says, "I got to figure out something." Mm-hmm. Goes to the professor, then goes to this mystical pool.
Professor X.
Yeah, Professor X. Yeah, he was. No, but he goes to this pool, and then he sees the future in his fear somehow. I don't know. They just didn't do good enough time explaining what was going on. So I'm thinking like, wait, so Scarlett's messed with your brain and basically exaggerated your fears, and you're making conscious decisions based on fears. It's like me like saying, oh, I'm scared of spiders. So we just need to kill all the spiders. We just need to get rid of all of them. And then what would happen, there would be this bio crisis basically, and they'd have all this exorbitant amount of other insects because no spiders are eating them. So that's what I'm saying. It's like that's the logic of the movie, where it's like, I'm gonna play off of my fear. Hawkeye got a lot of face time, and I think it's because he didn't get a lot in the first one. But like, you see his family. Black Widow had this romance with Bruce Banner that didn't go anywhere, and I'm like, why? Like, especially if they're not gonna bring the Hulk back in the next one, which I can't say either way, but I just have a feeling. I have a feeling there's a reason that they have him exit at the end of the movie. They usually don't do that for no reason. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's usually like, that means that they probably can make a film without him in it and then justify, because they're like, oh, remember that movie when he went away in the airplane and never came back? Well, that's why he wasn't in our next 2 installments of Marvel.
Well, he already,
and then Justin Bieber played.
He already had plenty of context with the interactions between him and Black Widow already.
Yeah.
Like they already discussed it. Like both of us, we really can't fit that well into this modern society.
Yeah.
And that's why they like talk about, oh, let's run away, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. But then Bruce decides, I'm just gonna be the only one to run actually.
Yeah. So
I mean, it all led up to that, honestly.
Yeah, but it's just, I feel like it's pointless though.
It was pretty pointless.
Yeah, like it's like
all of that.
I'd rather them do like a Planet Hulk spin-off, like I said, where maybe where it would have been made more sense if they wanted to get rid of the Hulk. The Avengers at the end of the movie are like, you know, you're too dangerous, you lose control, we're strapping you in this ship and sending you to another planet. Like that's the whole Planet Hulk's backstory. That would have made more sense.
Well, both of them are technically not a happy ending.
Yeah, no, and that's fine.
And it does also show the conclusion. I mean, like sometimes like the romance just doesn't work out.
That's true.
You need both parties to pretty much be in a mutual agreement.
But this goes into David's point really well, is that you have this really heartbreaking romance because it just doesn't resolve at all at the end. There's a lot of sexual tension throughout the movie, and then all of a sudden, she's just like, oh, he left me. And you're like, yeah, that sucks. It makes me sad for you. Sorry, Scarlett Johansson. But then David says, but then the enemy is such a weenie in this movie.
Before that, I think they just did that romance because they didn't have anyone else. Because the Hulk is normally that general's daughter, right?
Yeah. Bruce Banner canonically is head over heels for the general's daughter. I can't remember what his name is, but like the general who tries to kill him when he first becomes the Hulk.
Yeah.
His daughter, which I can't remember.
Her name is Betty.
Betty
Bombs.
Betty
Bombs. Betty Bombs.
Yeah. Betty Bombs.
But that's the thing. That's why the disconnect is. Okay, so you have this like tragedy within the character development, within the relationships and the interaction. But then when it comes to like the enemy, who is like the real antagonist, I kind of had the same feeling you did actually. Like you're like there, like you have Ultron monologuing about how, you know, this kind of Sephiroth calamity is coming down. It's gonna destroy everything. It's gonna be mass extinction. The world's better off without humans, which could probably have some environmentalist like undertones to it politically. But I didn't feel a threat. I didn't feel threatened for the people, because you're like, Avengers gonna win. Like they're gonna beat this guy. It's a freaking floating city. Like come on now. So when like I don't know. It just didn't add up to me. And like and another thing that pissed me off was the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Like I said, I just don't think they should have put them in the movie at all. But they needed it for the context. They needed it for the was it Sokovia? Yeah, they needed it for that whole setting, and they needed minions for Ultron, and they fitted that. But I just
hate. I think I already said it, but like how they have to call them enhanced rather than mutants.
Yeah,
I hate that so
like
much.
For people who at least have any grasp of Marvel Universe, whether they read the comics or not, they know that Scarlet Witch, even from the TV series, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are Magneto's children. So in the back of their mind, they're like, "Oh, this is really cool." Like for me, it was like, "Oh, that's cool." Like at least mention their father in some aspect, or at least mention their mutant, background. No, they're these freak experiments, basically, of Baron von Strucker, which leads me to my other point. Like the canon behind it is that von Strucker is one of the heavy hitters of the Avengers villainry, and all of a sudden he's just like dead. I'm just like, man, that was anticlimactic for me. But then again, that's my mistake for going in the movie thinking, oh, this is gonna semi-follow, what's going on from what my knowledge is, but I don't know. I
actually, to go off the point of Ultron, I felt like he wasn't that great of a enemy either. Like he just had a bunch of minions fight them, and he could be taken out just from Iron Man. You remember that part? Like down the ship, he got taken out just by Iron Man.
He took him out like how many times?
Yeah.
And he just come back later.
And maybe that was what we were supposed to feel threatened by, was that he wasn't bound by the physical.
Right.
Like he was, being in the network itself, he could be manifest anywhere at any time. So, but for some reason, it just didn't click for me. For some people, it probably did, but maybe it was over my head. Maybe it's too deep for me, whatever. But Vision, though, the good point about it, what I did like was Vision. He looked freaking awesome in the movie, I think. Like, he looked like I'd expect the Vision to look like. And I think they did a real good job.
I just didn't like how they built him up. Like how if Ultron took a hold of that body, that he would be unstoppable. Like they wouldn't be able to beat him. But like Division takes hold of the body, and now they're on his side, but they can't defeat Ultron that easily. Like he didn't do that much.
Well,
that's what I think. And
see, the way that I reconcile that is that he says he's on the side of life.
Yeah. And
he's hesitant. Like at the beginning, it seems like he's hesitant to kill Ultron, because he's always looking for I don't want to kill anything unless I absolutely have to, basically. Unless I can reason in my mind or see the future that there's no hope for this person, basically. It's almost like a god figure in the movie, where it's like this benevolent being that allows certain evil in the world, So that's kind of a little bit of a hint, an analogy there. But I don't know. And then obviously there's already flaws going in the movie with, Tony Stark just, stumbling upon making Ultron, when that's not how it happened in the comics, but
well, just to go off the point though, I felt like they did all that building up
for nothing.
Yeah.
Anticlimactic. It was just it was like, so what?
Like the building up, like I knew, like I kind of just wanted to see Ultron take hold of that body. Like it probably would have made for a better movie, like a stronger ending.
Like, oh, I see what you're saying. So you were, because you were like me, you're like, oh, he's going
to take that
during the highway chase and everything. You're like, oh, this fool's gonna activate the damn body. Like he's gonna unleash hell, upon these people. And then I remembered briefly during the ending moments, where the hell's the Vision in this movie? I know he's supposed to be in here, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna make this guy the Vision. Yeah. And so when I knew that, I'm like, crap. Like when I saw Thor bust in.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't have enough power. And then Thor pops in and then zaps with power. I'm like, you're creating the Vision. I'm like, you're not stopping anything. You just gave them what they just like verbally said they needed. They're like, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna destroy it. It's like raining down lightning, and he's like, Vision pops up. He's like, I'm the Vision. I'm gonna save the day. And then all it takes to beat Ultron is just a heavy dose of teamwork. Really? We're all back to back. He's not going to touch this. Not going to touch this detonator. And then I'm just like, oh gosh. But, they got the feels, though, when they killed off Quicksilver.
That was, that was stupid. They had to kill someone.
Yeah.
Well, really it still bugged me that Hawkeye didn't die. Like, they built everything up to hint, like it was straight up death flags everywhere saying, yeah, Hawkeye's gonna die soon. Mm-hmm. He just had his like little touching moment. He had the death flag where he's like, okay, goodbye, wife.
Yeah.
All that pretty much points towards, Hawkeye's gonna die in this movie. And instead, they just spit at our face. Yeah, just kidding, man. Hawkeye's still alive, man. Even at the end part, where Hawkeye looks at Quicksilver's dead body in the shuttle, and then Hawkeye notices he's bleeding. And he's like, I'm gonna lay down for a moment.
Yeah, he's like laying on the bench.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, so they do kill him off.
Yeah.
No, he's still alive.
Yeah, because it looked like it's
like that build up was an inherent troll.
Yeah, this is just like Naruto.
Just like the build up for the body though too. Like
yeah, pretty much. But I actually like that part. All right, like. Ultron didn't seem that big of a threat in terms of scope. I mean, you can't really compare it to demigod trying to create a portal for an intergalactic army to invade.
Yeah.
But this was this was more like a filler for Infinity War.
Yeah.
Where the enemy is pretty much themselves.
Yeah, and it sets up a reason for Thanos to actually need to come to Earth himself, because all of his ambassadors, like all of his messengers and minions, have failed at like securing the Infinity Stones. So the I don't know if it's the Chaos Stone. I can't remember which one's in the Vision's head, but the one they extract from the Tesseract or whatever, like that's one of, what is it, 4, 5, 6. So that whole part, that you're dead on, I think, on that, as far as they did a good job at tying that loose end. So my hope is that even though I wasn't a huge fan of the second one, is that hopefully Infinity War will knock it out of the park, because Thanos is like one of the more brutal enemies, like one of the darkest enemies I think Marvel has, as far as just like not even giving a shit about just killing anyone. So
just ironic that the fastest guy died. The one who could dodge bullets.
Yeah, the one that can like move bullets and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about moving those high.
Well, not moving, but he should be able to dodge those.
Yeah, he should be able to at least dodge them.
He just lost his focus. He didn't have his music in from Disney.
What did you guys think of like the dialogue for Ultron though?
Oh, I liked it. That was a good point for me. They kept up with that witty dialogue.
I actually thought it was a negative.
Really?
For that, yeah. like I discussed it with you. Like Ultron is a character. They wanted to basically synthesize as a persona for Ultron, and they based off the premise by saying, "Oh yeah, so Tony Stark made it, so we're just gonna say that he like is like a clone in terms of the personality." Because we already know that everybody loves Robert Downey Jr. playing Tony Stark persona.
He plays a good Tony
Yeah.
Stark.
And that's why they're like, you know what, we'll just duplicate it so then we have an excuse to have another Tony Stark persona so people would find Ultron a bit more likable. Like, frankly, Ultron was not the highlight of the movie. Like, I like the movie not because of the conflict itself.
And the true protagonist was Jarvis, basically. Jarvis is the one that's preventing Ultron from actually staggering Ultron's progress, basically. And at the end, the Vision is a manifestation of the power of the Infinity Stone and Jarvis's UI and what. So that's why, to me, the Ultron didn't bug me, is because Ultron basically kind of cohabitates. I think Jarvis's like Tony Stark's creation of Jarvis. So to me, Jarvis also has a witty sense of humor, even though it's dry in the other movies, especially in the Iron Man movies. But he still has some of that like funny moments, comical relief or whatever. And so that didn't bug me. But there were some times though that it did take away from from the villain, I think. And that's what I didn't like about it, was I was like, wait, because they were some dialogue moments where they made Ultron a likable person as far as his comedy and stuff.
I feel like that following though was just based off of Tony Stark.
Yeah, and so
that's why I felt it was just more developing it was just an excuse, so you don't actually have to make
Tony Stark the focus.
No, make a character.
Oh,
they didn't want to give Ultron his own persona.
It was a cop out, basically.
Yeah, they just basically, all right, people like Tony Stark. We have this excuse now to actually make another Tony Stark personality to it, and I feel like that was really lazy on it.
Yeah, so I can see where you're going from there.
The thing I wanted to talk about his dialogue though is at the beginning when he's first introduced as this remember the robot that's broken down and he's talking to them. It just seemed like it was a bit confusing what his plan was, because he was just talking about evolution and stuff like that. So I was like, maybe he has a different plan than just killing off everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe he had a bigger, more interesting plan, but it ended up being oh, okay, well, it's just probably easier just to kill them all off then. That's my take on it. That's why I wasn't too big of a fan of his dialogue, because it was a little confusing. But.
Well, he was technically a computer after all.
Yeah.
He did all the calculations in his head. He's trying to figure out all the routes. He did, he's pretty much, sincerely try to figure out the best possible path, and unfortunately all that with the end result of just wiping out.
I really did love that little scene where he was just sprouting, where it was him and Jarvis talking to each other.
Yeah,
I really liked that scene. That was just a little small scene there, but I really liked that part. I don't know why. It was just two AIs talking to each other. But that train part though, I mean, we talked about that, but why?
He wanted to see Spider-Man.
Oh god,
Spider-Man, man!
Everyone gets one.
We were talking about it, and I was like, it would have been classy, if they couldn't get the rights to Spider-Man, just to have a web, just catch it, and it would just be a homage to Spider-Man.
Yeah,
no Spider-Man.
But they'd be like, why the hell is Spider-Man in South Korea?
He's traveling. Andrew Garfield, he's I'm on vacation.
No, it's Tobey Maguire, man.
Get out of here. He's washed up.
Now, what would have been clean is at the end of the Avengers 2, when they all assemble, the very last member is Spider-Man. He just slings right in and just stands up.
Oh,
doesn't even say anything. He just shows up. And the whole audience
for the new Avengers, right?
Holy shit.
Yeah, because it would totally overshadow, Falcon and I'm Falcon. Yeah. I'm gonna fly around.
You got a brand new Falcon. You got a Scarlet in her new getup. You had the Vision being Vision.
Falcon to me is one of those Wonder Twins characters. I am the support and I just carry buckets of water around. You know,
Well,
one of us turns into a bucket.
War Machine?
Huh?
Isn't it War Machine a little bit like that? Or
Yeah. I don't. The only thing I don't like about War Machine is that I think the military upgrades War Machine, not Tony Stark. Like you see that in the movie. Like War Machine, like it's not like Tony Stark's giving War Machine this endless supply of updated tech. So he's like using an outdated Iron Man suit, which is still a good suit, but not against like the new enemies. Or you know, that they're adapting and they're stronger and they're more powerful.
It is a good contrast too when you compare it to, like, say, the military's like one desire to approach things.
Yeah.
Versus Stark's
Yeah. That's
instead of just having a straight up Iron Man clone.
And then you have Scarlet Witch, which okay, cool. She's a telepath, and then you have the Vision. So and the Vision just craps all over him because you already know who the freaking OP one is in the team. But yeah, Spider-Man would have been a nice touch, but we know how complicated their freaking contract.
That would have been amazing though. Like he just shows up. That's it. He just shows up.
Dude,
at the very end.
symbiote Spider-Man.
In order to hint towards it.
Freaking symbiote Spider-Man, man. Ultimate Spider-Man. The wings. Yes.
Shattered dimensions.
Oh gosh, yes. I'm not a Spider-Man fan, but I would like that.
I just want to see more content. Like, content.
Just recycle that scene from First Class. Approach Wolverine. Nick Fury. I want to make a team. F off.
That would work. Actually, that would work.
Yeah, so predictions for Civil War. Civil War is before Thanos or after Thanos?
Should be in media res, yeah.
Yeah.
So it should be before Thanos, actually. Because this should be a timeline.
So we're left off where it looks like Black Widow and Captain America are like sole proprietors of the Avengers team, the Avengers Initiative. They're like, there's a new team, and they seem to be like the paternal characters of that. Tony Stark is seen exiting. That's probably symbolic of him leaving, going back to, Stark Tower, doing his business, doing some more shady illegal stuff. And then Hulk's out of the picture. Hawkeye, don't think we're ever going to see him again because he was
he got the movie.
He kind of gave us that one last ride, to his wife, and he's like, one last ride. And his wife's like, are we gonna bang or what? No. So I don't think those external characters like Hawkeye are gonna be in there. I don't know about the Hulk. I don't know what the hell they're planning on doing with the Hulk. But so
he just shows up. Like Deus Ex Machina, he just shows up to save the day.
That's basically what they've had him do in the past two Avengers movies. If you notice, at the end, when the team's in discord, everything's looking gloom and doom. Where does the Hulk come out? Where he gets his shining moment when he comes in, and just starts tearing crap up, starts throwing Chidori ships on the ground, and then what happens in the third one? This is when he breaks through the island and is just just shattering everyone and just crushing all the Ultron minions and stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. Really, and that's how you have to play the Hulk. There's no other. It's not like he can create, as the Hulk, he can create this really immersive dialogue. He's like the freaking ape of the group.
Yeah, you can't actually just flesh him out, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's where the Bruce Banner character development comes in, which a lot of people I've talked to don't like Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner.
Carl.
I don't mind him, to be honest, but
see him as too nice or whatever.
Okay, I can kind of agree with that point, because in the first Avengers, remember when they said you need to get angry, and remember he says, that's the secret. I'm always angry. And then he turns green and then gets big and then just goes right in and just changes right into it.
Yeah.
He's not that constantly angry guy when it's a disconnect when he's talking and stuff.
Yeah. Bruce Banner's garbage as a character.
Yeah, so there's a disconnect in Bruce Banner's character, and that's
I mean, you can't really flesh it out. I mean, the whole premise of it is being able to interact with his own emotions.
And that's the thing, though, is that it was all right with Mark Ruffalo for me because Bruce Banner is always like he becomes the Hulk out of a noble situation because the freaking what is it? What's the energy? The
monster.
The material, the gamma
monster energy.
The gamma radiation reactor, like that. He like covers it with his body. Like if you remember the very first Hulk movie, right? He covers it with his body to save Betty and the colleagues or whatever. So he's trying to save them, and out of that is this freak accident, which should have killed him, but for some reason, there's a lot of different backstories they've used. Of course, like his genetics were suited for it because his father like shut him up with gamma radiation as a child. That's one backstory, but he is a noble character like Bruce Banner. So that's why like Mark Ruffalo being this collected, almost approachable teddy bear kind of guy is like all right with me. But as far as when the Avengers used him, they couldn't take that same approach because first off, they didn't even give his backstory. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
And like in the Avengers, they never gave his backstory. They used the Edward Norton version, the Incredible Hulk, as his story because that was the one where Tony Stark comes at the end and says, "Oh, I'm making a team, whatever." It's Edward Norton as the Hulk. So that's one of those issues with casting, where there's a disconnect. So the Avengers, the Hulk in the Avengers, I think, already had a disadvantage going in there where people were like, well, who the hell is this guy? We just saw a different guy play the Hulk. Yeah. Like, how does this fit into the chronology or whatever? So it's like, man, Edward Norton, you gained some weight and got a tan, and dyed your hair. And changed
I was a little confused about...
And got older?
Because in the first one, I thought he'd already taken control of that thing in the first one, at the end. Or I thought he could just change whenever he wanted to.
Yeah, see, and there you go. Where he said, I'm always angry, and he just, by will, turns into the Hulk. Yeah. But, there's still...
One, you can't do that.
Yeah, and he still has to jump out of planes and stuff. So, that was an issue. So, for me, the issues outweigh the pros for me. The pros for me are the vision. I like the dialogue. We just argued our both sides about how the dialogue can also turn in on itself, as far as character, as far as creating a character, a unique character. So, and you can still see where Marvel has a boner for Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. I mean, he is in the first one, in the first Avengers, he saves the day, right? He totally saves.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't also say this Marvel having a boner. It's more along the lines too is that Robert Downey Jr. He's kind of actually getting tired of the franchise.
Yeah, I think he is.
Like they had to cut a deal with him. Same thing with they actually had an issue with keeping him as Iron Man.
I read something about that.
Yeah, and that's actually exactly why they're rushing Endgame Winter Soldier done. It's because Downey wanted to have a major role. He didn't want to be minor. He still wanted to be major.
In Avengers 2?
Not just Avengers 2, just for the future of the Marvel franchise.
Oh, okay.
That's why they're rushing Civil War.
Yeah.
Is because Iron Man's a main component of it.
Yeah, and as we know, I mean, they're aging. It takes them years and years. I mean, they're not going to look the same. And there's
it wouldn't surprise me if Robert still got paid the most, even in Captain
America.
America.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
So weird.
He's probably half the fucking budget, honestly.
Yeah, which to us is ridiculous, but I guess that's just business. That's show business. But
yeah.
So I wonder if they're going to how close they're going to follow Civil War if they do. It's interesting because of the dynamic. It has. Civil War to me was always that arc in the comics, and being as recent as it is, it's really neat because it probably appeals to a lot larger base of comic book readers and younger comic book readers because they can actually go to the store and pick up the Civil War arc off the shelf. Like they have it in a book form, and I can't remember how much the books are a piece or how many there are a piece, but it's a political arc. Like it gets really like people are dying over the politics of the the Hero Registration Act, like in the Civil War Act. So I wonder how closely they're going to follow it, but I really would like to see if they're really going to pit Iron Man against Captain America. That would be interesting.
Well, if they're going to make Iron Man a pivotal part,
Yeah.
and not to mention the title is Captain America, I'm pretty sure that...
Oh, they're going to do it under the guise of Captain America?
Yeah, it's called Captain America Civil War.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Sorry. That totally makes sense. And yeah, it's totally
and that's what I'm saying is... And that's why I'm saying the funny part is Robert Downey is probably going to be paid the most
Yeah.
in the Captain America film. But... Honestly, I like the Captain America series so far.
I don't mind because after watching Cellular, I really like Robert Downey Jr. to get paid more.
Oh, Cellular, man, that was a good movie. You guys should watch that. 2004.
Don't watch it.
I think it's 2004.
Yeah, it's 2004, but it looks like 91.
It's a good movie to just sit down and watch with no expectations.
Don't expect a fancy roundhouse kick from Jason Statham. Like I was. Like I was deceived into believing.
Oh man.
Gosh.
But in Civil War, I read that they are gonna add
Jason Statham.
With the Black Panther.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Did you guys catch that in Avengers 2? Is they went to Wakanda, where the weapons were on the guy was that's the same region that Black Panther is the prince. He's the prince of Wakanda. That's his other mantra.
The guys,
I thought they were actually going to cameo in when I saw that. I'm like, crap, this would be perfect time. Like give him like a little homage, like just a taste of it if you're going to add it later. But yeah, which Black Panther, to be honest, he's like a ninja basically. He's like an African ninja, is what he is. And like to me, I never was like, oh my gosh, he's such a cool hero. Like crap, you dress up like a damn cat and you're stealthy.
It's the primal spirit.
And then he comes from a long line of Black Panthers. Like the Black Panther is just like inherited by his lineage, by the next son. Yeah. But I'm just like, they live in this very, as opposed to contrasted with our Western culture, in this very tribal setting, very indigenous setting in Africa, and then all of a sudden he's just this great stealthy warrior that can stand toe to toe with modern day technology and like Iron Man and the Avengers, and there's instances where he's sneaking and getting intel on the Avengers and stuff. I'm just like, this just doesn't work for me. But there have to be some Black Panther fans out there. They're probably the Black Panthers.
Where that weapon place was, that's where I don't know, Andy Serkis. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, he's a Gollum.
Yeah. I really this is just a side note, but I really liked his character in that movie.
Oh yeah. He's actually outside of Gollum and his animation work. He's actually a very talented actor. I've seen him play a load of different roles.
Yeah, he played Caesar in Planet of the Apes.
And he's played in chick flicks. He's played a gay guy before.
Yeah. 30 going on 30.
Mm-hmm.
13 going on 30.
13 going on 30.
Yeah.
30 going on 30.
30 going on 30. I never age. So I'm the best at what I do. All right. So, I mean, Civil War, looking forward to... you're looking forward to Civil War, are you?
I'm probably the most hyped out there.
Yeah, I'm just kind of skeptical of it. I don't know.
That one, Spider-Man vs. Spider-Man, that's why.
And I'm a Wolverine guy. So I'm biased towards X-Men. I'm more excited about the X-Men side of Marvel than the Avengers side of Marvel because even with Spider-Man in it, I don't like the Avengers. Spider-Man makes him worse to me. That's how much I don't like Spider-Man.
Nah.
Go back to school. Get your degrees. Get your degree, Peter Parker. Seriously.
Doc Ock and the Avengers. Probably better. Oh god. Because he at least would be able to contribute.
His uncle in the Avengers.
he's just lecturing each one of them. Great power, great responsibility.
One thing that's interesting about Civil War, I just thought about this, is that it has implications on the whole Marvel universe. But since we've only been given the Avengers side of it, and what else? Fantastic Four. I doubt they're going there. X-Men, and since those are two differently licensed things and different rights, permission and all that, like, I feel like it's not going to be as broad. I think that's my prediction. It's not going to be as broad as I would hope it would be. There's like characters like all over the cities. Like, I can't remember if Luke Cage, which is he's Power Man. He's kind of an insignificant character. Can't remember what city he's in, but he plays. New York. New York's probably. It's probably Chicago, but every big city to me is just New York. So, but there's a lot of minor characters that have kind of cool characteristics that I would like to see in Civil War. But I know, like, I have no reason to believe that they'll be in there. So
this just seems like shoehorning at that point.
I'm
sure you don't want that.
Yeah, I mean, crap. To the comic book geeks, they'd probably enjoy that. But yeah, to people who are just hoping to see like an all-out like battle politically and physically between like Iron Man and Captain America, yeah, that'd probably take away from the movie. So, but yeah, that'd be interesting because I think the X-Men are even involved. The X-Men I think have a part in. I haven't finished Civil War, so I don't know, but I think everyone.
Did the X-Men really need to even take a part? They kind of have their own like existentialism politics going on there.
But they have to be. Believe they're on one side of it.
Yeah, but then the question is like, do they really want to define themselves as a hero in that instance?
And crap, I mean, I don't think it was secluded to just heroes. I think it's just called that. I think everyone with powers has to register.
Like I know the second Avengers actually did manage. I feel like they actually segued it properly to Civil War. I mean, for instance, Tony left the team. Not to mention,
they're already in conflict in the movie.
And he's like jaded already about, well, what the fuck did I just do?
Yeah, so basically he is. Yeah, you make a good point. He's like, crap. I can't even save them for myself. So this is when he goes totally, like communist on him. It's like everyone registers, everyone goes through the government, everyone goes through one source, and we're gonna regulate everything. He turns into a progressive, goes from conservative to progressive in the blink of an eye.
More like passive to activist. He's like, well, I better get involved in shit.
It's like, crap, I guess I'm a Democrat now. He drives away in Avengers 2. It's like, Obama, Biden. 2012.
On his bumper.
Yeah. Alright.
Should end off with like what our most anticipated superhero movies. Next one.
Next anticipated what?
Superhero movie.
Okay, most
there's
anticipated
like a ton
superhero
There's
movies.
Ant-Man, Fantastic Four, Deadpool, Batman, Civil War.
You know,
There's a
it
ton.
sucks. It sucks for me because...
Go back.
Go ahead.
Well, you already know mine.
Alright.
It's the Batman vs Superman.
There it is.
Because I'm in love with Batman.
It's a complete complete cash grab. It's just basically any Batman and Superman fans' wet dream.
Yeah.
It's probably not even gonna be cohesive.
It's gonna
If
be
you've
like
seen the animated Batman vs Superman, that's what really got me hyped.
That's what he needs to watch.
Because when I think about it, I'm like, Batman's not gonna have a chance against Superman. But then you see the actual like fight in the animated movie and
Superman Buster.
But but I feel like the animated, it can't even compare to the animated movie because that was an aged Bruce Wayne. Like that was an old man Bruce Wayne.
But I think they're still somewhat basing it off Frank Miller, which is that. And if you saw the trailer, right?
Yeah.
Like Bruce Wayne or Ben Affleck, he looked a little older, like he had the gray hairs coming in.
Oh.
Yeah, man.
I feel like it's just a giant fan service.
I want to say
that's what every superhero movie is.
I want to say
No,
Apocalypse. I want to say
deliberate.
X-Men
Ooh.
Apocalypse is probably my
That's
most
a good one.
anticipated one, and I'm trying to get all the rumors and out of my head about what it could possibly be.
No Wolverine.
Shut up.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably what I'm looking forward to the most.
Besides Batman vs Superman, since you already said it, I'm probably gonna have to go. That's hard, but I'm gonna go with Suicide Squad because that's where the new Joker
That one is
is.
gonna be good too.
Whatever.
New Joker.
Flop.
man.
New Joker's gonna flop.
Nah, I'm a believer.
Nah, man. You're a believer.
I'm
A
a
believer?
Jared Leto believer.
I feel like Justice League has a better shot than Suicide Squad.
That's not gonna be for a while, bro.
Well,
You could still say it.
it could be like the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, what's the dark horse? You know, it's gonna be watch the Fantastic Four movie, be
You
amazing.
guys are together like you think you're some sort of Justice League. You said it yourself, bitch. Is that how it's gonna be?
I was talking about Suicide Squad's gonna be like the Guardians of the Galaxy.
You think you're some kind of Suicide Squad? Say yourself, bitch. Did you see the crap? What's his face?
Will Smith?
Yeah, Will Smith in his armor.
Yeah.
I
thought
couldn't
it was
even
pretty
recognize
clean. Like I really thought that was pretty
I
clean.
didn't like it. Looked like a damn hockey goalie.
With that
With
helmet
guns.
on. I don't like that helmet.
Just the pads. The angle I saw it from, it just looked corny. It looked cheap.
Hey, it'll look better with slapping a chromatic aberration filter all over it.
But when is Suicide Squad supposed to come out?
Next year.
Next year? Oh gosh. Batman and Suicide Squad?
Should be next year, I'm pretty sure.
Wait, is Batman gonna be in Suicide Squad?
They
He should be, right?
I think they saw like Ben Affleck in Toronto where they're filming it, so he's probably gonna cameo a little bit. Which is gonna be freaking awesome.
He's just walking down the street.
He's like, hey.
Then it's just there for the audience to be like, look, it's Batman! It's fucking Batman! And then,
Too many cooks?
yeah, that's pretty much it. But for me, Civil War.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
That's
I
Spider-Man.
like the simply put.
Cash
I like it. I know a lot of people didn't like Winter Soldier.
Mhm.
Don't know why. Winter Soldier I thought was pretty good.
I love the first one.
Like it,
I
like,
think,
the premise got larger.
to
Like
me, I thought like the Captain America 2 and Thor 2 were better than the first ones.
right?
Yeah, because like the first Captain America, it's an origin story or whatever, but I was like not really into it.
I love the first
I actually like Captain America, like in World War. I like World War II Captain America. I don't like modern Captain America. I just never have. I just like, bro, you use a shield and guns.
Dude, I have a huge boner for CQC though.
one.
Yeah.
Like
CQC.
I'm kind of sick of seeing Iron Man blasting shit, people with like powers and stuff like that. I like the good old let's just beat the shit out of
I
you.
like CQC too. That's why I'm
And
a
doing some
Wolverine fan.
fancy shit. Like there was some fancy shield shit in Winter Soldier, especially when dealing with the Winter Soldier,
Yeah.
where there's just like guns up the ass.
No, I'll agree. For he gets art points in my book, like technique points all day. Like on the judges' scorecard, you got like 10 out of 10.
He styles the shit out of it.
Yeah.
If like CQC, this is why you should watch the animated Batman films.
But it's animated.
A lot of CQC.
Like you compare that
No
to
capes.
compare that to a live action choreography, my friend.
The only person I pull off a cape, Moon Knight, hands down. Get that Superman Batman crap out of here. You know, we all learned why capes are bad from The Incredibles.
yeah.
Oh, that was the best part.
Nope.
And the best part is the ending, because it points back to it.
Most anticipated superhero movie, Incredibles 2.
They still have to
And
deal
cut.
with it. I mean,
And cut.
they act like they can't make Undermole a good villain.
Gosh.
They even made a game about
Yeah,
it.
they did.
Whack-a-mole.
Never played it
You're talking about Whack-a-mole, right?
I'm under you. There's nothing under me. That was
And
where I
that's
left
the
off.
third one, is there actually is something under him.
A new threat.
A new threat.
See,
Undermole.
He's pink.
He's pink. It's a naked mole,
Right,
right?
guys. Naked mole. Solid mole.
Solid liquid bowl.
Gosh.
Yeah.
All right.
Civil War.
I think that concludes our discussion.
That was good.
Heroic enemy out.
Another hour.
Alright.
What's the next topic?
I'm done.
White day?
It's a good day.
White day.
Future's black.